And with me right now is Ann Mandel-Knoll, and she's an audiologist with amazing hearing. Great to have you back again.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and today we're talking about a few things. And first want to mention that this month, October, is National Audiology Awareness Month, right?
Yes, it is. And with that, it's just making patients and people in general aware that what an audiologist is and where they can go for hearing loss.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
What is an audiologist? And I guess we want to compare them to someone who is sells hearing aids or can adjust hearing aids, things like that. So what is the difference? Where are the extra steps that an audiologist does?
Well, as an audiologist, as a minimum, we have a master's degree, and now as of 2007, you have to have a doctorate degree in order to be an audiologist. So one of the differences between an audiologist and a hearing aid dispenser is that you could be a hearing aid dispenser. If you studied for a year, you had a high school education, you could start selling hearing aids.
Okay.
So as an audiologist with a minimum of 6 to 7 years of college education in hearing sciences alone, we are better equipped to handle hearing loss. We can assess it, we can diagnose it, we can treat it, we can counsel it. So there's a much larger scope of what an audiologist can do. A hearing aid dispenser is looking at just fitting the device, and an audiologist really kind of has more tools in the toolbox, if you would kind of put it that way.
Okay.
That they could use counseling, we do balance, we do interactive things with the medical comorbidities, affecting diabetes, heart. We look at all those things together.
And you mentioned as of 2007, you have to have a doctorate degree?
Correct. So now I have a master's degree, so I have 4 years undergraduate, 2 years master's.
Right.
But now you have to go and get that third year because they're doing more things like intraoperative monitoring and things with children with cochlear implants. And so there's a bigger scope of what an audiologist can do. Okay,
and we talked about this before we went on. Would that mean with the doctorate degree you would be considered a doctor? So, a doctor of audiology, let's say.
Correct. It's an AUD, not an MD.
Okay.
So an AUD means that you're the doctor of audiology.
Okay.
And that would allow you to be considered an LLP, a limited licensed professional, kind of like a chiropractor or a dentist, where you would then be seen as the leader or the doctor of your field.
Okay, could you prescribe medicine then?
So no, we can't prescribe medicine, but we can we're looking to do direct access. So the reason that our profession went into becoming a doctorate degree in audiology was so that Medicare would recognize us as the hearing specialists.
Okay, all right. Now, we mentioned Senate bill. Tell me about this, because often we hear the high cost of hearing aids, and well, you know that.
Sure.
They can be
thousands
of dollars.
Sure.
Yeah. So is this something that if this were passed, like the first step of maybe, are hearing aids part of Medicare in any form right now, where they go, okay, we'll get you you can get the base model?
No. So what happened is Medicare was originally formed to be major medical insurance. So eyes, ears, and teeth are not included in Medicare services. But through the years, Medicare has become everyone's everyday insurance, kind of when you retire. And so now we're trying to get a larger scope of coverage through Medicare. And so this Senate bill, it's Senate Bill S-2446. Tomorrow I will be handing out a letter at the Hearing Well Club in Clubhouse 3. And I'm sure Tony will have it on her website at thehearingwellclub.com.
Okay.
And people can pick it up from there. But it's a letter asking your senator to support this bill, which would allow audiologists to be your direct access for hearing loss. So right now you have to go through an MD, get a prescription, and it's only covered if there's a real medical condition, an ear infection, a tumor, or something along those lines. Whereas this bill would allow patients to come directly to an audiologist to be assessed, and treated, and then they could choose to go wherever they want to get their hearing aids. Right now, Medicare doesn't pay for hearing aids, but they pay for cochlear implants. So it's kind of just a continuum of how long it'll be.
So this would be a start of
it would be a major breakthrough for people to come, because all insurances follow what Medicare does. So if Medicare doesn't pay for hearing tests, none of the other insurance companies will pay. But if Medicare starts paying for hearing tests more than just a medical emergency kind of thing.
I didn't realize that. I thought they paid for medical tests but not hearing aids.
Oh,
but they don't.
Me.
Wow.
Not the test unless it's prescribed by a doctor.
Wow. Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how, you know, even with normal insurance, meaning our insurance, I can go ahead and get eye care insurance and dental care insurance, but there's no hearing care insurance.
It's evolving, and I will say that it is evolving.
But it's interesting.
But in people, what we know is that if they would do something at an earlier age, that they would solve a lot of, or prevent a lot of medical things, such as balance and falling, cognitive decline, isolation, depression. There's a lot of things we know are associated with hearing loss that if it were treated earlier, then we could prevent those things. And that's why the Medicare bill is so important.
Okay. So as you said, hearing loss, how it affects people. And as you mentioned, in many ways, not just hearing.
Yeah, so what happens is it's balance issues, but it's more cognitive. So what we know is that the brain cannot remember what it doesn't hear. It seems simple, but it also affects communication. It's affecting spousal deafness, right? When you get married, it automatically comes, or you say, I do, but people think that you're not listening to them. But if the brain is only getting a partial message, you're taking and pausing to think, what are they really saying? And so I might ignore you because I'm processing in my head. But it leads to a lot of other issues, especially communication issues between family members, starts to lead to isolation and depression. So as an audiologist and having the counseling skills to be able to help families and patients walk through that process is what we're trained to do.
Okay, and you know, we have on the screen identifying hearing loss, and this is, you know, pretty common things. This is not something that's out of the ordinary. It happens to vast majority of people with age.
Sure.
So, and you know, I think some of the hard part of this is the person themselves. They may not know, or they may know, and they're like, well, I don't want to spend the money. I don't want to do this. I don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is that people in the past thought hearing aids were more noticeable, but now they are being widely accepted, basically because there's so many people using things that are hanging from their ears all over. The other thing is that hearing aids are not noticeable. I could put a hearing aid into your ear and nobody would even notice that you have one on. We say that a hearing aid is much less conspicuous than a hearing loss, right? If you can hear, people aren't looking in your ears to see if you have something in there. It's when you can't hear that they're like, what's going on with that guy, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing is that they connect so well with technology. So with iPhones, you actually can do better with hearing aids than a normal listener can.
Yeah, and so some of the things that you folks that make you a little bit different, and you work on the quality of life, and you're not trying to hard sell anybody, you're just trying to find the right options for them, because there are many options, right?
Sure, and what we are trying to do is I put myself as the owner of Amazing Hearing in my patient's chair, and to say they have very few options to really work with hearing loss and getting a better quality of life. It's not like the doctors where there's thousands of them out there. There's a limited number, especially of audiologists out there.
There are.
And so what we try to do is just be the bridge between them and a better quality of life. But we offer a 45-day trial if it's a hearing aid that you need. We have a full array of assistive devices in our office, and our staff is always there ready to answer any questions if patients walk in and have questions.
All right, and where are you located?
We are in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Oak Brook Plaza.
All right.
So we would love to have you come by sometime and check out our display.
All right, and good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
You take care.
Appreciate it.
And good information. We'll see how that Senate bill goes.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back.